One of the biggest problems when piecing quilt blocks is getting those points to line up. And like everything in quilting, there's more than one way to do things. When I first started quilting, I almost always pressed my seams open. And I wish I would have known about nesting seams a lot sooner. So here is how I like to nest my seams. And this usually helps my points line up a little better. And don't get me wrong, it's never perfect. But when I started doing this, I saw a lot of improvement. So here I have these 2 strips of 4 squares that I have to put together. And instead of pressing my seams open, I pressed them in alternating directions on each of these strips. So if I flip them over, you will see this bottom one is pressed to the right and the top is pressed to the left. So I'm going to place these right sides together and then I'm going to match up my seams. With time, I have learned that it works better for me to line up the seams rather than lining up the ends of each fabric. What I do is lift up these pieces and then I am going to try to match these seams up. You'll see here that they kind of are like, if you pull on it, they'll straighten, but they should be going in opposite directions like this. And then what I do is I kind of shift the fabric around with my hands and I place my fingers and almost kind of like squeeze where the 2 seams are, and you should feel them almost like click into place. They should not overlap at all. They should just be butted right up against each other, and you want to make sure that they are doing this a 1/4 inch in too, not just right on the edge, because you want them nested right where you're going to be sewing. And here I'm using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so I want to make sure that all the way down they are lining up. Then you can clip or pin it in place and then move on to your next seam. I do this with as many seams as the 2 strips have, and then I will sew them together like you normally would. So here are these 2 pieces. After I have sewn them together, I open it up and look at those squares. They are lining up pretty nicely. And here it is after I have pressed it open too. Like all things in quilting, you just have to try a few methods and find what works best for you.